rooting for tonight?
I'm rooting for everybody black. I am.
Just a quick disclaimer, this video is not to insult friends or families. This video is for educational use and all my information is from the internet. Prayers go out to the friends and families of the victims. Hey guys, it's Leyanicole. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm a bit under the weather today, but that's not stopping me to put out some content for you guys. I don't know if it's like my allergies or I just probably have like a little cold. But I'm out here making content for y'all, so y'all better go on and subscribe and join the channel. So today I wanted to talk about the time I lived next to a serial killer. His name was Dario Majestus, and it wasn't like I didn't know this man at the time. You know, I was living in Elmont, New York, and I was like in elementary school. I was staying at my grandma's house. And he was a family friend. You know, him and my uncle went to high school together. And, you know, like any best friend, you know, they're going to come over to the house. They're going to go, you know, hang out with your family. So growing up, he would, you know, attend family barbecues, birthdays, you know, and conversate with me and my brother, you know, at the time. And when he saw us, you know, working on our homework, you know, from school, he'll definitely like help us with some like questions. I mean, the vibes were cool. I always felt like, you know, he was really nice and fun. You know, I never saw him not smiling when he came over to the house. But those good vibes didn't really last long, because over the years, as I grew older, you know, he kind of drifted apart from the family. Life goes on, you know, people mature, and him and my uncle, you know, pretty much was adulting, so he wasn't around as much. But he would, you know, still say hi to me on his way home from work, I'm guessing. And I will always pass him walking home, you know, from school. And when I got off the bus from school, like, he would always be, like, around that area every single time. It was always, like, around, like, 3 p.m., around, like, 3, 4 p.m. in the afternoon. And I will always see him, like, walking, because we were going always the opposite direction. So he'll be coming down this road and I'll be coming down the other road, and we'll always like pass by and he'll always say, hey, how you doing, and stuff like that. But it was strange. Things started definitely getting strange, because I would start seeing him, you know, walk home with like a trench coat all the way down to his knees. And meanwhile, it's like 90 degrees weather. So I always thought like, that was strange. Like, who wears a trench coat in 90 degrees weather? But he never really like kept together either. I felt like something was strange with him, but I kind of, you know, shook it off. I mean, I'm like 10 years old, so I just went about my business, you know. But like, I always picked up like strange vibes from him, and the strange vibes were definitely something horrific later on. So, on June 21st, 2010, police were called after Dario's brother, Gerby Majestus, failed to report to his job as a New York City correction officer. The police was contacted by a family relative named Tex Majestus, who was concerned about the well-being of his nephew, Gerby. You know, they both worked at the same correctional facility, and it wasn't found of Gerby to miss multiple days of work without even calling in. So Tex also called his brother, which is Dario and Gerby's father, and he didn't pick up either. So now Tex is, you know, he's worried now, because that's not found of the family to never pick up their phone. So finally, Tex goes over to the house around 4 p.m. to check on them, and Tex hears loud music playing inside of the house. So he's banging on the door, ringing on the doorbell, and suddenly Tex reported that the music suddenly stopped. So Tex ends up calling the police, because he's concerned, you know, someone might be in the house that's not supposed to be in there. So he just feels like something is wrong off rip. So police come to the house trying to get in, inside of the home, and they removed an air conditioner from one of the first floors of the house. So after he enters the master bedroom, he starts walking around the house and he enters the kitchen, and he discovered a dead body on the kitchen floor. They discovered that it's actually Daryl's brother Gerby who was shot dead. He was shot 10 times behind his head, and his father was found in the basement dead. So the police also indicated the strong smell of bleach and a strong smell of death around the entire house. So they called for more backup, and the house was surrounded by at least 30 police officers. In the midst of all this commotion, Daryl, came casually strolling out of the front door of the house and actually attempted to sit down and have a cigarette as if nothing was amiss. Like, he's acting like nothing happened. So the police were justified in immediately arresting, Daryl, because they're like, yo, what's up with this guy? Like, he's mad suspect. And I can imagine what Tex was feeling, which is his uncle. I'm sure this man is sick to his, his stomach, seeing his brother and seeing his nephew dead inside the home, and also wondering like, yo, did Daryl kill them? You're like, I'm sure he was sick to his stomach, because I would be sick to my stomach if I even saw that or came upon it. So now Daryl is taken into questioning. So Daryl made various statements to Detective Ray about the incident. According to Detective Ray, Daryl said that he lived on the second floor of the house, and his mother and father lived on the first floor of the house, and his brother lived, in the basement. So Daryl stated that he had not seen, his parents or his brother in a couple of days. And we all know he's lying. So Daryl also indicates to the detectives about his daily routine, how he gets up at 6:40 a.m., he eats peanut butter cups, and, he would leave the house and spend all day at a local park. So now Daryl actually drew them a map of the whole, park which he went to. But while I'm reading this, I'm like eating peanut butter cups every morning. Someone asked about the fact that his brother was dead on the kitchen floor of their house, and, his father was dead in the basement. Daryl stated that a Haitian gang called Lugarou or Legarau must have killed them. I was doing some more research on, who's the gang of Lugarou, because I was trying to find some images of that particular Lugarou gang. It's basically a demon of Caribbean mythology, basically a demon, a spirit. And this is what Lugarou actually means. Lugarou are demons that haunt the West Indies, particularly Haiti, Grenada, and the Dominican Republic. The name is a corruption of loup-garou, the French werewolf. The loup-garou is sometimes described as a witch or shapeshifter, and also kills innocent victims, animals, and uses that same blood for satanic rituals. A Haitian gang called Lugarou or Legarau must have killed them. So the detectives are like, okay, but your mom is missing as well. So Daryl had no reaction to that statement, just a straight face, like no emotions whatsoever. So they also asked him about the bleach in the house. Daryl said that he never smelled any bleach in the house, but if there was bleach in the house, it must have been left by the Haitian gang called Lugarou or Lugarau, because I don't really know if I'm pronouncing, their name right. But now we know that Lugarou is actually not a gang, a Haitian gang. It's actually a spirit, a demon, an entity. So, we don't even know if this man was possessed by this spirit. We don't know, but I'm thinking he was. So now the detectives start asking about his background, how he grew up. And Daryl indicated that his parents were very strict, and that his mother recently accused him of stealing money from her. So the detectives also asked him what was his relationship like with his brother, and he tells them that, he was jealous of his brother, that his brother had a great job and his parents, glorified the brother more than him. And he also stated that, his brother had, the best room in the house. So there was definitely a lot of jealousy. And all I'm gonna say is jealousy is a strong drug to get you that enraged, you know, you kill your whole family. I mean, he could have went to school, got a good job, or, you know, got his life on track like his brother, but instead he was being envious of his brother, and he, you know, most likely hated his parents for glorifying his brother. And, you know, he was probably feeling like, you know, in the shadow. Hold on, y'all, I need some tea. So they stop questioning Dario, and they now take him into custody because they feel like Dario is guilty of this mass murder just off rip. So they start trying to find Dario's mom, which is Rose Amajestu, who was missing at the time they arrested him. They were searching for a gray 1998 Lexus ES300. Now, you know, at this time, the community was in shock, and her church was even trying to help, you know, help the police find her too. But she was later found dead 2 weeks in Brooklyn. And she was also in the trunk of the car with a gunshot wound in her head. And I remember, you know, my grandma talking about the situation, and she was just so sad because she knew Dario's mother as well. You know, this was a very tight-knit community. Everybody knew each other. Everybody talked. And for months, you know, everyone was talking about this because, you know, it's a quiet neighborhood and it's a quiet suburban town. But I feel like a lot of crazy people be in them suburban towns. Like, that's when a lot of things be going on, like that you never knew would happen. So detectives and everyone, you know, knew Dario was guilty of, you know, killing his whole family. So on July 25th, 2010, Dario Amajestu was sentenced to life in prison without parole for murdering his parents and his brother. And I was really curious if his family saw any signs of mental illness or strange vibes from Dario, you know, that he expressed, because, you know, my little 10-year-old self was concerned about him because he was wearing a long black trench coat in like 90-degree weather, just walking around outside. And, you know, he looked unkept. His hair was just, you know, all over the place. Like, he didn't look like himself, you know, like I knew him to look. So I was always, you know, curious, like, did his family ever pick up, you know, weird vibes from him, weird energy? You know, make sure if you see weird signs from people, don't ignore it, because people are crazy out here and you never know. Because, you know, we had this man in our house. We had no idea that, you know, he was even capable of this. But thank you guys so much for watching. Leave below any true crime stories that you would like for me to bring awareness to, especially our Black community. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, y'all, pray for me because your girl ain't feeling that well today. But I'll see y'all next time.